Hello everybody, welcome back. My name once again is Brad. I'm one of the floor managers here at the Boulder Bookstore. Today I have a selection of books for you that were nominated for the Booker Prize but did not win in their respective years. So if you don't know about the Booker Prize, there's two that are given every year. One of them is the Booker Prize, and that's given to any book that's been written in English in the past year. And then the second book is the International Booker Prize, and that's any book that's been translated into English within that given year. So I have a selection from both of those lists from the last 5 years. So first, I have Washington Black by S.E. Young. This book, a lot of people were turned off by it because of the first sentence. There's a beheading. It starts dark and it turns into a much better and happier story. The main character is a slave, and his master's brother is an abolitionist and wants to help him escape after their cousin kills himself and everybody thinks the slave did it. So it's a story of redemption, but it's also a story about you can be doing the right things but for the wrong reasons, and how that can actually be pretty detrimental to the people that you're trying to help. Beautifully written. This was actually my favorite book that year. Next I have Exit West by Mohsin Hamid. Some of you may be familiar with him from his other works, including The Reluctant Fundamentalist, Moth Smoke, and How to Get Filthy Rich in Rising Asia. This, in my opinion, is his best work to date. This is the story of two teenagers that are trying to escape from a war-torn country in the Middle East that's never quite named. There's these magical doorways that people can go through so that they can escape. So there's a really, really heavy element of magical realism. Beautiful escapist tale. Doesn't end the way that I wanted it to end, but I think it ended in the perfect way that it had to end to make everything really come together. Wasn't really a Disney ending, but it was quite remarkable and striking. Next I have Nick Drasno's Sabrina. Sabrina was the first ever graphic novel that was longlisted for the Booker Prize back in 2018. I originally read this to see if it was something that was going to be appropriate to put into high school classrooms, and it's not, but I think that everybody college age and above should read it. This is the story of a woman who's brutally murdered, and the person that murders her videotapes the murder and then sends it out to local news stations. People start thinking it's a deep fake, and it's a fake video, and she never existed, and this is all just a way for you to hate your neighbors, and kind of very Alex Jones type people. And it's also about how the family, while dealing with their grief, has to combat these people just to say she was a real person, she did exist, and how it toys with their emotions and psychology. Really, really remarkable. Like I said, college age and above, I think everybody should really read this. Next I have Allie Smith. I do have Spring in my hand here. This was not the one that was actually shortlisted for the Booker Prize, it was actually Autumn. Allie Smith has the remarkable feat of being the most shortlisted author in Booker Prize history without ever actually winning the Booker Prize. Autumn was really good, Winter was really good, Spring was my favorite of the quartet, Summer was actually just released, so you can finish the whole quartet right now. Spring, all of these books are set not in the season of the time of year, but in the season of the feeling of the season. So this is about rejuvenation and redemption again. There are three main characters. One is a man who's about to kill himself. One is a woman who works at a refugee detention center, and the third is a young girl who can slip in and out of these detention centers and question the wardens about why they're doing what they do. All three of them come together, and it makes for a really, really remarkable tale. So all of those were Booker Prize nominees. The next two that I have are International Booker Prize nominees. So this was Till. This was actually shortlisted this past year. This is by Daniel Kellman. He's from Germany. This is the story of Till Eulenspiegel, who is a famous legendary jester in Germany. I didn't know anything about Till until after I read this book, and then I kind of went back and found everything that I could because I found him very interesting. Every few hundred years, somebody tells the new story of Till and brings it slightly closer to the modern times. So right now, this one is set during the 30 Years' War. Till has the ability of showing society itself and kind of causing riots because of that. So this is the story about how he becomes who he becomes, and also about him toying with the royals and toying with people during this war, and really showing people their own vices and how they shouldn't be as brutal to each other while making them brutalize each other. Really, really strange, really wonderfully written. I'm going to read everything from Daniel Kellman after this point. And then lastly, I have Alana Ferrante's My Brilliant Friend. This one was also not nominated. It was actually the fourth book that was nominated in this quartet, but start with the first one. This is a beautiful tale of a friendship. It's two young girls growing up in Naples. This book starts with them essentially being born, and the fourth book ends with them being in their 60s. And it's a beautiful friendship, and there's strife, and there's one thinking they're better than the other, and the other one being bitter about it, and Olana Ferrante just really has this wonderful way of describing the human condition that I think is unmatched in modern literature. Nobody knows who Olana Ferrante is. She writes about this kind of casual violence in Mafia Naples that she wants to protect herself, so it's completely hidden, not her real name. And her descriptions of the city are remarkable, and really brought me back to walking down those cityscapes. Also, her newest book just came out. It's called The Lying Life of Adults, and I highly recommend it for anybody that likes her previous works. So thank you so much for listening, and please subscribe and come back and watch some more videos, and give us a call. We'll be here every day. Thank you so much.